Hey, my name is Chad. This video we are going to finally test out these Berger 109s at actual distance. So it really got cold yesterday here in Oklahoma, and I think pretty much all across the country, but especially here where I'm at, and I do not like the cold. So we're going to see if we can speed this up. I came out last night on Sunday evening after getting some more of the rounds loaded up, and I think I adjusted my zero. Hopefully, I took a couple attempts, but the last one hopefully was right there. I'm really bad at zeroing, and I think I ended up just about at the exact same spot that I started at. So we'll see. Had to raise it up just a little bit, but not quite as much as I thought I might have needed to initially. So today I decided I got a few more loaded up. And since I've got a match coming up on Sunday, I'm going to obviously need to update my Kestrel information. So what I did is built a new profile. So went into the app and actually just built a new gun profile with everything set up the same, just changed the projectile to the 109 long-range hybrid target from Berger instead of the 108 Hornady ELDM that I'd been using. So if something goes haywire and I decide to go back to the 108s, I've still got that profile built. I just adjusted in here. So when I went to send the profile to the Kestrel, it of course needed an update, and that ended up taking like 35 minutes. So I'm out here right before the sun goes down, about usual for me. So got that updated and got everything reset here. In theory, my target should be right at 500 yards. I think I've got it set about 498 in here. On my 108s, I was running around 2980 to 2990, kind of on average, just under 3000. And with these, my average last night was closer to 2940. And I updated the info in here. It's also a slightly heavier projectile. I mean, 1 grain. I don't think that's a huge amount, but different profile bullet and everything like that. So usually I'm given about a 2.2 for my Kestrel. Right here I'm given a 2.3. So let's just see what happens. We got 2.3, and the wind's kind of blowing in line with where the targets are. So hopefully I don't need to do too much more than that. Really, my plan today is I just want to see if I can get hits at distance with this loading and everything set the way it is. I got my seating depth pretty well figured out, and my base to ogive measurement to have decent clearance with my mags. I'm right about 2.167, I believe is what it is, instead of 2.279, I think is my mag length. Seating depth to the tip, but I measured to the ogive. I left my note at the house, but I'm pretty sure 2.167, somewhere right around there. So, got a few in the mag. We're gonna get down on the bag on the prop here and just see what happens. So, I'm shivering already. Got hand warmer in my pocket, so I'm gonna get my hand back into my pocket as much as possible. But I don't know, let's just kind of run through it here and see what happens. Hopefully, we have some decent luck. And if nothing else, we'll know if this loading is going to be good enough setup to use for a match this Sunday, or if I need to just load another box of my 108 Hornadys, since that data is pretty good and I can trust it, at least for these local matches. So let's see what happens here. This is going to be a definite cold bore shot because it is legitimately cold and I haven't warmed up the barrel at all. So if I remember right from when I was checking my zero last night and it was getting into freezing temperatures, my first shot tended to trend a little bit low, and then the following shots would catch up to it. So just to give myself the best chance here, I'm going to go for my biggest plate down there. It's a big 12-inch, and we'll just see what happens. Cold bore with cold hands. Got it. Okay, that's a good sign. Go for the one next to it, so we'll just drop down to a 10. Got it. If we're having luck there, I'll go for the one that's kind of up on a T-post. That one should have a little better ring. These big targets on the plate rack I got down there, they're pretty heavy and they got more of a thump to them, so you don't hear them very well up here, and the wind is blowing against us for sound coming back. Got it again. Run down the plates here. Got the 8. Got the 6. Got the 4. 500 yards kneeling, breathing heavy, and I hit every shot I took just there. So 6 out of 6. I'm going to call that decent enough data, at least for running PRS. So these 4 I have loaded up in here are what I would call, for my match ammo, I would call these rejects. So some of them are seated just a little bit deeper than I would like. So typically that is going to, seating deeper will sometimes make it a little harder to get out of the case if I'm understanding everything correctly. So it might increase my speeds just a little bit, like it has to jump farther to get into the lands and builds up more pressure behind it before it starts pushing down through the actual barrel. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if I described that right, but typically when you're seated shorter, the bullet length is deeper down into the case. It's got to go further through the chamber before it gets into the rifling and starts twisting and building up regular speed through the barrel, through the rifling. So probably not describing that right. So either way, some of these are a little bit off. I just want to see if I get hits with them. Got that one. Got that one. That was a little low. Got it. Okay. So, I mean, even so with my seating depth, I don't have to be exactly precise. I've probably got 1 or 2 thousandths wiggle room. I try to load everything to where the projectile is seated in within the range of, I've got my target number and 1 over or 1 under. Typically anything outside of that 1 thousandth deviation from my target, I'll set aside and use to warm up the barrel, ciders, anything like that, or practice after, things like this where I just want to find out if it's going to really have an effect or not. That's what I'll save those for, but those even got hits. So hey, if you're the kind of person that really doesn't like this time of year because you got to break out the electric hand warmers and hope that your fingers stay attached through the whole winter, go ahead and get subscribed right down below here, because I am totally going to be complaining about how cold my hands are for the next few months until it warms back up here in Oklahoma. So stick around, you'll get to see that along with all the other antics that I get into. You don't want to miss those. I'm pretty happy with that. I have another 10 loaded up that I brought with me just in case something went totally haywire, but hitting 6, 7, 8, 9, pretty much 10 out of 10 at 500 yards with a new bullet. I'm going to be pretty happy with that. I'll just admit it. So I think I can take that information, know that at least the numbers that my Kestrel are giving me are at least close enough for down to a 4-inch target at 500 yards. So yeah, I'm quite ecstatic. So the last time that I changed a projectile, and I think it was a different lot box, and the base to ogive measurement was quite a bit off from the box before. Like I think the box before was like 0.694, and then I had some that were like 0.708, 707s. So like a 1/100th difference between the two. Pretty considerable change. So that threw off where my impacts were. And I came out here to do some testing before a match, and I just bombed everything. Missed every single shot, I think. Stressed about it all week. All I could do was get to the match early, and luckily I think I was just probably more off in my body position than I thought I was, maybe, because at the match with that same ammo loaded up, I got hits before the match started, and then went on and had a decent match. So sometimes I just mess up, but today everything went pretty smoothly, so I'm happy with it. I'm still quite cold, so I'm not going to stay out here super long today. I still got things to do this evening, and I've got to start this batch of brass that I have fired through, getting all this preliminary load work done, get it dropped in, annealed, and then sized and ready to go by Sunday. So this will be a Sunday match. There is going to be, I believe, a Saturday match down in Gravestone, but I have had too many long weeks the last few weeks, and I need to realize my limits. Driving that far this weekend with the way my body feels, I don't think I could handle it. So I'm going to take the far match off the schedule for this weekend. So we'll do the local Sunday match and then hopefully get a little bit of rest. I really need to catch up on kind of just taking it easy. I've been hitting it pretty hard the last several weeks, and I'm starting to feel it, but I'm still going. So I don't slow down much, but when I do, it's usually with a good reason. We'll say that. I mean, let me know, did you notice anything weird or unusual? I got out here, realized I left my trigger cam card at the house. Oops. But hopefully you heard at least some of those. I think I have my Ear Pro turned down because I couldn't hear the impacts, but I could see them and I could kind of feel the thump of them. So hopefully they came through on the microphone and you'll be able to catch those. But I did see every single plate move, and I'm really happy about that. So I think I can confidently say that the load data that Justin gave me for these is going to work out pretty good. So like I said, the speeds are a little bit slower, closer to 2940 right now, and my others I was running 2990s to 3000. But I have noticed that the closer I get to 3000 and then going past it, groups start to open up and less reliable impacts. So if I can keep the speeds down, that's obviously a little better for barrel life and still get good impacts. Hopefully I'll be able to fight the wind. That was one thing I wanted to check today, but with the wind following right behind me, I didn't have to dial in any wind. So I guess we're going to test that at the match. Supposedly these long-range hybrid target, the profile of them is supposed to be really good at fighting through the wind, and it would be really cool to get to the point where all I've got to worry about is elevation changes and my windage stays within the width of the target, and I can just aim center at everything and not have to mess with dialing on wind. That's kind of a long-term goal if I can eventually get there, or just learn to, you know, hold to corresponding side of the target instead of dialing in the wind. I don't know. We're going to try a few things and see how it goes, but more than likely I think this is going to be a positive change to give these a try. Well, let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm pretty pleased with 10 out of 10 for my first time at 500 with this loading and new projectiles. So yes, I'm super happy. I don't want to take my hands out of my pocket, but I do want to tell you that I appreciate everybody that hangs out with me for a few minutes. I do hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.